Hello there, all of you beautiful people. Welcome back to Dying Light 2, Stay Human, Secrets and More. In this episode, I'm going to cover how to gain access to the Lazarus weapon, which is a key component early on in the story. Before I begin, this video contains story spoilers for various missions throughout the game, so tread carefully. Firstly, in order to get Commander Lucas's unique brass knuckles, you do not need to side with a specific faction. Aitor will still hand them over willingly, regardless of whether you've sided with the PK or the survivors. While this is a little bit strange, I suppose even he can forgive grudges with you, if you happen to save his life. Now with the spoiler warning and the faction tip out of the way, let's begin. I'm going to break this video down into 3 parts for you guys. 1. The story quests you need to have done in order to actually get this item. 2. The choices you need to make in order to get the Lazarus weapon. And 3. A little bit of background info about the weapons, the damage it does, and overall whether it's actually worth it or not to get and use them. We first actually see these weapons in Old Villedor during the quest The Only Way Out, wherein we buy these off of a little girl named Mia for just 10 old world money. What a steal! Despite committing highway robbery to a child in need, these weapons we just paid for do not actually appear in Aiden's inventory, nor in his stash. We then hand these over to the acting PK commander? You know what, quite frankly, I don't really know his title, but regardless, we head back to the metro station and give them to Aitor. Next, we need to progress farther through the main storyline, past the quest The Only Way Out, and even farther still until we come to the quest Welcome on Board. It is important to note that you do not need to fully complete the Welcome on Board quest for the Aitor quest we need to pop up. Simply complete the first objective, which is head to the PK HQ, the Missy, and talk to Meyer, the female NPC, leaning against the railing. After that, a short cutscene will play out, where Aitor is brought in a stretcher and taken to the ship's hospital. Now, this is the point where you can ignore the main quest, and track the Aitor side quest that should pop up as soon as that cutscene ends. During this quest, you will meet an herbalist who tells you to collect a specific plant, with the warning to only give Aitor the little petals, otherwise he will die. And this is very much true. Refuse to give Aitor any of the petals you have picked, or give him the big petals instead, and Aitor will wind up dead.
They contain deadly poison.
Otherwise, if you listen to the woman's advice, or Lawan's for that matter, she corroborates the herbalist's knowledge, saying that the little petals will help Aitor's condition. Aitor will end up living.
She's not a witch. What's happening? We're losing him. Aiden, give me those herbs.
I forbid it. Keep that witch's poison away from him.
I can give him that.
Now, while the quest itself is complete once you actually give him the little petals and hear out the cutscene from his wife and the doctor, there is still another key component you need to do. Go to sleep for a few day-night cycles, around 2 or 3 should be fine, and head to the Fisheye Canteen. Once in Nicholas's bar, you'll see Aitor along with his kid, and you could talk to him to get some interesting backstory for the character and his life outside of being a PK. After that conversation is finished, Aiden will go to walk away, but Aitor grabs him and stops him, handing over the Lazarus weapon, saying,
I wish you the best, Ader.
Wait. Remember Lazarus? It's a solid weapon. And it's unlikely to be of any use to me anymore. I was supposed to kill Waltz with it. You do it for me.
You can bet I will. Bye, Oyer.
Get lost.
Once it's done, you now have full access to the Lazarus as a usable weapon. Now let's get on to the third and final part of this video and talk about the weapon itself. Firstly, it kind of sucks. Early game, it's fine, but by this point in the game, mid to late, you will certainly have weapons that outdo it in damage by at least 30 points. So, it's not all that great, but it is still super fun to use. Also, the added bonus stats on the weapon are randomly generated. The reason I know the stats are randomly generated is because I actually completed this quest on a live stream. However, as soon as I went to look at the weapons and equip them onto Aiden to actually test out, the game just completely crashed and sent me to the Xbox home screen. So when I logged back into the game, the quest was actually incomplete and I didn't talk to Aitor yet. So I went to talk to him again and I got the Lazarus again and the stats are re-rolled. So, I mean, it's... The damage was actually only 1 or 2 points off as well, so it wasn't super great, even though I got a second chance at it. Now, whether the weapon is actually good to grab in your playthrough is entirely up for debate. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's fun to use, so I suppose it's up to you whether you prefer grabbing a unique weapon that's kind of meh, or if you just one who ignored entirely. I mean, you do you. Anyways, though, that is pretty much the end of this guide. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you've learned a thing or two. Anyways, folks, catch you all in the next one. Peace!